Hi, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I talk to people in city government, the school system, and businesses throughout Wadsworth. Kelly Murphy's with us, the head gymnastic coach at Wadsworth High School, and with us, she has brought three fine gymnasts with her. Katie Dallas is with us, Stephanie Novak, and also Bri Perkins. Did I get that right, ladies? Boy, I tell you, that's a great start for the show. Coach, why gymnastics? Why did you decide to get into gymnastics? What's your educational background? And why do you love this sport so much?
Well, I was a gymnast myself, so I've been in or around the sport since probably I was a toddler. I've coached since I was 16. I enjoyed competing. My daughter competed, so when the prior coach decided to step down, they looked for coaches for a little bit, and my daughter and some of the girls came to me and asked if I would coach high school so they could have a team and have a coach and have a season. So that's kind of how it started, and now I'm 5 years later.
5 years into coaching. Correct. Do you maybe pick up little things, even though you've had that broad experience? Do you sometimes pick up little things that help you and the girls go forward?
For sure. I've done a lot of private club coaching, but high school is different. Some of the rules are different. Some of the start values, things are different. So definitely every year you kind of learn some new tricks and some new things and how to go about, performing routines or putting them together.
Katie, how long have you been in gymnastics, and what have you learned about yourself during those years?
I've been doing gymnastics for 12 years, and there's a lot of practice that goes into gymnastics, so you have to work hard for anything that you want, and I've learned that. And time management as well, and dedication.
So it really is a sport that goes year-round. I mean, if you want to be a top performer, the Suburban League really has some very fine teams in it, and we are competing with those teams. You really need to be on your A game each and every match that you're involved in.
For sure, yeah.
What is your favorite equipment? What is your favorite routine to do?
I like bars. I've also been mostly focusing on bars currently because I injured my foot in the beginning of the season, so that's really all I can do. But I love bars, so that's very great for me that I get to focus on that more.
You stole one of my future questions coming up about injuries. Mm-hmm. It seems like with the jumping and the twirling and landing on your feet, your ankles and feet really are susceptible to injury, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of motion with them. There's a lot of jumping and bouncing and landing that you have to land very, very good and make sure you don't injure yourself.
Stephanie, do you kind of see as the season goes on, you have progressed and gotten better in a certain event?
Yeah, I definitely feel like throughout the season, I know a little bit in the beginning I can get more nervous because I've gone pretty much a whole year without competing and being in front of a judge. So throughout the season I try and become more confident just overall, especially on beam, because I feel like beam is something that I want to do really good on. And so I just think it's very obvious once you fall, so I want to try really hard to be as clean as I can and make sure to try not fall, just to overall do my best.
When do you realize when the event's over that you've had a real strong performance? Do you realize right after, or do your teammates come up and say, boy, you really nailed that, when your coach says, nice job, or you get a thumbs up from your grandparents or whatever? When exactly do you know when you've really done a nice job?
I think in general, I kind of can base it off of what I did in my routine and know if I fell on something or if something didn't really go the way I wanted, I know if I did good or not. But I also think just the team in general having really good positive attitude about a routine afterwards and hyping you up after is definitely a big giveaway that you probably did a good routine, and just getting high fives from your coaches and teammates.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm sure with getting through a routine and not having any glitches along the way or stumbles or get injured, that is really important. Mm-hmm. We talked for a minute ago about injuries. Our trainers really do a good job in helping probably with some of those injuries to get you back in competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are some of the things that they do to help?
A lot of times, like, they specialize, like, with heating and making sure to ice, because I feel like that's really important, just depending on, like, what you prefer. And they have, like, a bunch of different, like, weights and, like, trainings that they'll have you do and exercises that help you get right back into shape if you're suffering from an injury.
Bri, it's sometimes really difficult with the competition in our league. What techniques do you use to relax? I know some performers get so uptight that they don't do their best.
I've learned a lot of breathing techniques over the years. So in my club, like, I used to do club gymnastics. This is my first year of high school. So my club coach, she would always, like, she'd give us a lot of breathing techniques. I like to talk to my teammates and, like, kind of talk myself through the routine. I kind of go through it in my head just to kind of get more, I guess, mental reps in.
So what about such things like diet and getting enough sleep? Do those factor into your success?
Yeah, we do. So we just had a dietitian come into practice the other, like, last week or something, and she really helped. She told us a lot about protein and what we should be fueling our body with before practice. And obviously getting enough sleep is really essential in any sport to do your best.
What about, Coach? You've been 5 years here and done some other things along the way. Are there little things that you might pick up to the next year, like does state have clinics, or you talk to other coaches? Are there little things that you might pick up to pass on to the girls?
Definitely coaches in our league are really open about helping each other out or asking questions, so that's really nice to be able to do that. As well as the judges in our area are very open to questions and helping out. As well as, since I do private club, we do go to some different training classes and things that are always going to help, whether it's in private club or high school.
What about, we don't have a middle school program per se, but are there things that you might go ahead and publicize the team to get, freshmen and younger kids to even if they haven't had much experience? That would be like taking clay and molding and getting them to improve every year.
We do more word of mouth. Gymnastics is really tough to walk into competitively if you've never done it. And we are fortunate that we are able to work out at a private club, Powerhouse Gymnastics in Wadsworth. And so we have a limited amount of time and space that we can use that, because obviously it's a business. They have teams, they have classes. So we try to keep our team at a 10-person number. That seems to be doable in our time frame. So generally we try to do a lot of word of mouth. I haven't done as much as far as getting it out into the community, as far as trying to get new talent. Usually the girls know of other gymnasts that are competing private club, that kind of thing, and generally we'll have a conversation with them about trying to come out to the team and seeing if they are interested. We've been fortunate to keep our numbers relatively high compared to some, but we've probably in the last 4 years 90% been girls that competed private club maybe in years past but are not currently. Okay. So that's kind of where we the girls that compete privately, it's really hard to do both and take the hours.
Do you talk to the girls pre-season about what you would like to accomplish, some goals, and set some standards that you would like to achieve during the year?
Most definitely. We just, typically it's not about scores or how we place, but more about what skills are we going to get, how are we going to improve, what new things are we going to put together so we can get a higher start value, which helps with your scoring. You don't start at a 10.0, you have to build your routine to get there. So that's quite a feat, and trying to keep it consistent that way, and injuries affect that sometimes too. We have to change our routines just based on some injuries or things that we're having issues with.
Katie, it's really something to be in an activity 4 years. I mean, you really are dedicated to this sport. What are some of the things you've learned from gymnastics in those, well, not quite 4 years yet, 3+ years?
Teamwork, for sure. I like how high school, I also did club before high school, and high school is more of like a team effort. We all encourage each other and support each other, and I've learned teamwork. It helps to be in a good area that you'll be competing in.
with jobs. I mean, if you're working at any job, you collaborate, you work together. If you're kind of a lone wolf, good luck, because it really is important. And again, your teammates can tell you little things that maybe might help you along the way and support you. What about your parents? Are they very supportive and help you so much?
Yes, they're very supportive. They definitely pushed me to stay in the sport for so long, and they always come to meets to support and watch and videotape so I can see my routines on video and can see any mistakes that I've made to help improve for the next meet.
I'm sure that would be very helpful to see, what you've done and see maybe the area, maybe that was an area that never came up before, that you maybe had a little hiccup, but then you could correct that for the next meet and go down the road and be very successful.
Yep.
No question. What about Stephanie? What about your favorite if you had one event to go ahead and be involved in, what would it be?
I think definitely floor, because I just like to dance, and I think floor is the most interesting to watch, because it's fun to watch people's routines and see how they reflect them personally and see what they can do. And I think tumbling's very fun to watch. So I think, and overall, I kind of think I execute the floor as my best event and score well on it. So I would say it's definitely my top event. When
I think of floor exercise, I think about flexibility, and you really, the sky's almost the limit, isn't it? As long as you can pull it off. I mean, I certainly watch the Olympics, and some of the jumps and routines they do are just unbelievable. And it seems like they're able to do all sorts of things during that. And again, how long would that routine be on floor?
Usually, our routines are around anywhere from a minute 10 to a minute 30.
Okay.
So
you have to really get to your what you do very well right away.
Yep.
You can't be dilly-dallying around. You have to get to it and perform and do very, very well. I was kind of interesting. Someone said the judges. I think Coach said the judges give comments, and I was kind of surprised by that. Do judges sometimes help you along the way?
I think for sure, a lot of times they can give feedback at our meets, especially the ones towards the beginning, and just overall help you if there's jumps you want to do. You could ask them about it. Don't be afraid to ask them, because they'll definitely give you advice on what you could do, or tell you about what you may have lost points on to try and help you get a better routine, or if you need to dance more, or overall just what skills to get you that higher start value.
Bri, what are your future plans? What would you like to do at this time, maybe next year?
So I want to cheer in college,
Okay.
so that's a goal of mine. I haven't decided specifically on a school yet, but I think I want to go into the medical field somewhere.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong in the medical field. And cheering, gymnastics, what a movement into it. I mean, just perfect. All the routines and all the tumbling and things you've done, just perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, gymnastics has helped me so much with cheer. So I just started kind of taking cheer seriously this past year, and so much of my gymnastic strength and everything has just translated into me pushing myself to be a better cheerleader.
And what about your teammates and your parents? Very supportive and really behind you all the way?
Yeah, my parents are so supportive. They just want me to, they've never been upset if I don't have the best meet or don't get first place. They always just want me to have fun. So that has made it really healthy for me, I guess, to be in a sport.
You're probably tougher on yourself than your friends and your parents, right? No question about it. Coach, what about the team? You have suggestions along the way. You look at tape. Are they very, very receptive, since you have so much background, to your suggestions and comments?
They are. I mean, it's just being willing to try new things. Sometimes it's gymnastics is a lot harder. It's a lot more mental than you think. It's physical and mental. So just trying to talk them into and through some different skill combinations. It's a lot of mental. It's not just physical. So sometimes that process takes a little bit longer. But generally, they're open to trying it and figuring it out and working through it together with me, with their teammates. So.
Right. Can you help me? Go ahead. We've gone to a meet. How many different routines and how many different events are there, and how it differs from the Olympics?
Well, the same 4 events: floor, beam, bars, and vault. It's different in the Olympics because it's individual. as we're a team. Where we're different maybe than private club, which some people might understand a little bit better, is in our team score, we take the top 4, where if you're in a private club event, it would be the top 3 for team. Also, what would be a little bit different is we're limited in the amount of competitors that we can put on an event. So each event can be 6 competitors. It does not have to be the same competitors. So not necessarily everybody is going to compete on every event. So that's where it would differ. And then the Olympics, they have a different start value, and scoring system is a little bit different. So theirs is a lot tougher than what, a higher level. So there's a lot more that goes into it.
So your scores could differ. You could have someone maybe be off that day, and someone could, I hate to use the word vault, but I will, vault past them and get maybe into the upper, 3rd or 4th maybe.
Oh, for sure. It can happen very easily. You're off on one routine.
Right.
If unfortunately it carries to another routine, sometimes, your rhythm, mentally you're kind of down a little bit. It can affect the next event, and then somebody hopefully steps up on your team, and it's nice in that atmosphere that it is teamwork. So the girls are trying to step up because they know maybe their team needs them.
No question. And again, sometimes the injury factor, again, as I pointed out, with the trainer's help that the girls have mentioned, it's a very challenging sport, as you've mentioned, and little ailments can really mean a lot for scoring. For sure. We've actually, this year, we've had probably the highest volume of nagging injuries that I've had probably in the past 3 years. So we've had a lot of girls. Katie started out, unfortunately, in the season with an injury, and we've had 3 or 4 injuries kind of throughout the season. So we're just kind of battling and trying to keep everybody on a healthy journey. We have used the trainers a lot this year. They've been really helpful as far as getting the girls in, taking a look, keeping communication going with myself so we know what's going on. We don't practice in the school, so I don't get to see the trainer as much, but the girls will stop in after school, see them before practice, and they've been really helpful trying to help maintain the girls throughout the season this year, for sure. No question about it. It's really a situation where the booster club may also help you with little things. You probably want something, for a trip that you might have supper or something for them. Have they been helpful? They definitely have. We actually got new uniforms last year, and they helped us purchase new leotards. It was greatly helpful. If anybody knows anything about gymnastics, it's not a cheap sport to do, let alone get uniforms for. They're just pretty expensive, so they helped us out greatly. They actually provided the leotards for us, so we're extremely thankful for that. That leaves some funds. We were able to get some mats, some things that if we had to provide the money for all of that would not have happened for the girls, which it's part of it's just about safety. So having some things, we got a sting mat, them helping with the leotards helped us be able to afford that. So they've been very helpful. The athletic department's been great. We're a small team, 10 kids, so trying to fundraise and get the support and the things we need is tough with a small team, so they've been great. And how has the community responded? Very well, very positive? Very well. I think, people are always learning that we have a team. I know the girls have mentioned that kids at school say, we have a gymnastics team. Since we don't work out at the school, we don't have the same visibility. Mm-hmm. We do 2 home meets a season, so we're not there all the time for people to see us and know about us. So, we're continuing to try to let people know that we're there. It's just we're not in the high school on a daily basis, so they just don't get to see us to know us. Katie, where did you say you were going to higher education?
I plan on going to Ohio University.
Oh, Ohio University, home of the Bobcats?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They participate against my alma mater, Akron, all the time, and we won't hold that against you. And what will you major in?
I'm going to study pediatric nursing.
Wow. That is, medical field is very wide open, and we're looking for good people in all those areas. How has gymnastics helped you with pediatrics?
I think I've always liked kids. That's why I would like to go to pediatrics, but there's also a ton of kids at the gym. There's always club classes, and it's very cute. I like seeing them all compete, and being around the kids helps.
No question about it. Ms. Novak, your dad also tapes for WCTV. All the meets are available for grandparents and friends and family, and that has to make you feel good that your dad is behind you and the team and getting the publicity out there for the squad.
Yeah, I appreciate it, especially since like I can go back and watch my routine, so it helps like to see if I like what I did and like what I can fix and stuff. And it's just nice to have that support, and that like my grandparents like usually can't come to my meets as often, so it's helpful for them because then they get to watch and they get excited to like see, and just like maybe people in that situation too who don't really know about gymnastics and might come on, and then they'll be like interested in the gymnastics team.
Yeah, we have volunteers in a lot of sports, volleyball and soccer, and that really does, again, put you out there, and so people can see the importance of the sport and how everyone works together. Bri, what about, what have you learned? You just in 1 year, what have you picked up, and you're glad, I'm sure, to have joined gymnastics?
Yeah, so I've done club every year up until this year. I quit club over the summer, and I was like, I'm done, I'm retired, but I came back for more. But I really I love the high school team. It's so much less stressful on me. I've really enjoyed. I love all my teammates. It's just, and it's really fun to do it in front of my peers, because through club you kind of don't see anyone from your school coming to your meets, but it's nice to have like the school support through high school.
Well, it's also representative of the high school. I mean,
Yeah.
you're representing Wadsworth against other suburban league and clubs outside and teams outside of Wadsworth, and it's kind of neat to think that you're the representative of the school and the student body and trying to do your best.
Yeah.
Have you improved over the year, do you think? What sport, what routine or instrument have you been most improved by, you think?
I feel like my beam has gotten a lot more consistent this year. In previous years, I get really stressed out for beam, and I was doing a lot different skills then. So this year, I kind of just settled in, and I feel like I hit cleaner routines, and I feel a lot more confident doing it too.
Yeah, the coach mentioned about the mental aspect, that you can really psych yourself out and really almost have a fall before you ever get up there. I mean, I just see how big is the beam. It's very, it's a lot smaller than people think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4 inches.
4 inches? Oh my. You know, I can see people, falling on the snow and ice and say, gee, they don't have that balance that those gymnastics girls have, but really it's really intimidating, I would think, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's you have to trust yourself, and that comes from practice and everything. So trusting your body to know what it's supposed to do, it comes with reps and confidence and supportive coaches and teammates. It's really it's helpful.
Stephanie, talking about routine, you do things over and over and over again. Is it ever a situation where you think you've got it down pat, and you're really on top of that floor exercise, as you mentioned, was your favorite? Do you ever feel that you ever get overconfident?
I feel like there's definitely days where if I'm tired from a meet or just overall kind of exhausted in general, I feel like definitely if I'm struggling on a skill, I try and move on and come back to it to not get annoyed, because I feel like I definitely get a little bit mental with that stuff and just start doubting myself right away instead of just moving on from it. But I think most days I just try and save up my energy, especially for an event like floor where you're constantly running and jumping, and I just think to try and work through it, and even if it's not the best I can, at least try and do it and make sure you can still do it in your routine.
Coach, I can think of a lot of different sports, and there's certainly talent levels, and I don't want to pick on any particular sport, but I think of a true athlete as a gymnast. Am I wrong?
I think so. Gymnastics is your entire body. You're not using just one particular area. You have to be able to control your body weight, the girls condition all the time, throughout the year. We condition every practice, trying to just stay strong. So I would agree. I think it's a whole body sport. It's probably one of the few sports that is an entire body workout. Your entire body has to be strong and mentally strong to be able to go out and do that day after day, practice after practice.
Yeah, it really, what do you do as a coach to kind of break the monotony and the routine? Are there things that you do as group activities that you kind of have a light day, you know, people laugh and they support each other? Are those important days too?
There is, and there's always a lot of laughter, I think, in practice with the girls. But we do, you know, we try to make things fun where, hey, if everybody sticks, we're done with this event. Or contests, just silly things, just to, you know, keep it fun and not be quite so monotonous, because that's, like the girls have said, it's all about reps. You have to do it over and over and over and over again. So you try to, you know, break it up. We don't always do full out routines. We try to maybe work on just skills. So that helps kind of break up the monotony and also all the pounding on their bodies. But the girls, we do a lot. We try to do little things with the girls, tie-dye, events, whatever we can do and have the time to do. But I think there's definitely a lot more laughter in the gym than you would think every day in practice.
Katie, your last opportunity to talk to your parents in this camera right here. Want to say hello to them and you appreciate what they've done?
Thank you for supporting me very much. Thank you for keeping me in the sport as well.
Stephanie, your turn.
Yeah, thank you so much for just overall putting me in gymnastics when I was younger and supporting me through my way.
At least you don't have time to get in trouble, right, Stephanie? You get so much time into that. And Bri, what about you?
Thank you for taking me to all the meets, paying for our expensive leotards. Really appreciate it.
And thanks to the community for having supporting gymnastics, and certainly we need to continue to do that now and in the future. And thanks for viewing Bruce on the Loose. We've learned a lot about our gymnastics team and all the effort they go into, a lot more than people realize. Thanks for viewing.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.